As the Liberal cabinet wraps up its retreat in Charlottetown this week, a new Abacus Data poll finds that the Conservative lead has grown as impressions of Pierre Poilievre, its leader, improve. Welcome back to In Focus with David Coletto. I'm David Coletto. On this episode of In Focus, I share the results and some thoughts on a new survey conducted by my polling firm, Abacus Data, conducted from August 18th to 23rd and surveying just under 2,200 Canadian adults. Of these, a significant oversample was done in Ontario and Atlantic Canada, because I've got a keen eye on these two regions as we get closer to an election. Now, for the top line, the Conservatives have a 12-point lead over the Liberals, the largest since the 2015 federal election. Breaking that down, we've got the Conservatives at 38%, the Liberals at 26%, and the NDP at 19%. Now, compared to our previous survey a few weeks ago, that's just a 1-point increase for the Conservatives, a 2-point decrease for the Liberals, and the NDP holding steady. But that gap has grown even larger than we've ever had since that Liberal victory in 2015. Now, regionally speaking, the Conservatives are sweeping up the West, especially in British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, with the Liberals trailing in third in all three regions and provinces. Now, in Ontario, the Conservatives lead by 8 points, and in Quebec, the Bloc takes the lead by 5 over the Liberals. Atlantic Canada, well, it's tight. We've got the Conservatives ahead by 5, 38% to 33% for the Liberals. The Liberal Party leads in no region of the country right now, is in third in the West, and the Conservatives aren't that far behind in gaining maybe some traction in Quebec. But let's zoom in on Ontario. We oversampled that province, and we can get a better sense of what's going on there. The Liberals lead in Toronto, Metro Toronto proper, by 6, but trail the Conservatives by 10 in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. Everywhere else, it's neck and neck in Eastern Ontario, while the Conservatives have surged ahead by 20 in Southwestern Ontario. Now, an important point across all age brackets, across all genders, the Conservatives are taking the lead, including a big lead among the all-important millennial generation. I encourage you to visit my Substack at davidcoletto.substack.com for my deep dive into that story. Now, on to the million-dollar question. Lots of chatter this week in the press about perhaps some dissatisfaction in the Liberal caucus. And so in this survey, we asked, should the Prime Minister run again or hand over the baton? And we found that a majority of Canadians believe that Trudeau should step down, allow another person to lead the party and become Prime Minister, while only 27%, 1 in 4, believe he should run again. Now, most important, among those who voted Liberal in 2021, that number who want Trudeau to step down is 1 in 4. 27% of those who voted Liberal think the Prime Minister should step down and allow somebody else to run. Now, some good news in this. There is some strength in Quebec. Quebecers are the most likely to believe that Trudeau should run again at 33%. Well, not surprising, Albertans sit at the bottom with only 15% wanting to see Trudeau run again. Now, talking about leaders, this survey comes after the launch of the Conservative ad campaign focused on its leader, Pierre Poilievre. We see his impressions on the rise. There's been a 4-point increase in those with a positive view of the Conservative leader, a slight decrease in those with negative. His net favorables are now only -1. It's been a long time since the Conservative leader has come anywhere to having a net favorable impression in this country, and something we're going to track very closely. Now, digging deeper into that Conservative ad, we showed respondents that ad. Notably, 40% of Canadians say they either definitely have seen that ad or think they have. And the good news for Conservatives is, of those that have seen it, and of all people who watched it, half said they felt better about that ad. And that's the ad with Pierre Poilievre's wife doing the voiceover and telling his story and what's motivating him to become Prime Minister. Only 8% who saw the ad said they felt worse of Mr. Poilievre as a result. And notably, 1 in 3 New Democrats and 1 in 3 Liberal voters from 2021 said that ad gave them a positive impression of Poilievre. So he's out there defining himself, and it's seemingly already having an effect on his impression. So what's the upshot of this survey? Well, I think these polls findings emphasize certainly the challenging, very challenging environment that the Liberal government faces. This is probably the worst we've ever seen. I feel like every time I'm sharing results, I'm telling folks that this is the lowest net favorable score for the Prime Minister. This is the lowest mood of the country. But it's also showing that the vote in many pivotal regions is turning away from the Liberals, including some key demographics. Pierre Poilievre is making some strides, especially the new ad's success, it seems, with younger demographics, underscoring the party's, I think, strategic positioning in trying to win more of that young vote and make some inroads with women. Well, that's your 5-minute briefing on the latest Abacus Data poll. I thank you for joining. I hope you found this useful. So have a great day, and I'll be back with more data and insights next time. Thanks. Have a great day.